Today on The Young and the Restless, Nick and Victor try to comfort Adam. Faith remains rattled from her ordeal, and Sally decides to say goodbye. At Sharon's place, she and Nick hope Faith can get some sleep. Sharon hopes she can get the sewer smell off, which is a constant reminder. She encourages Nick to get to the hospital and check on Sally. Nick worries about leaving them. Sharon assures him they're safe and she'll call if anything happens. In the hospital, Sally asks Adam, "How could you do this?" Adam says he had to make a decision and Elena gave him no time. Who lives and who dies? This wasn't a scenario we had discussed. He explains it was too soon for the baby. Her lungs wouldn't be ready. Sally says, "So, you just told the doctor?" Adam replies, "I chose you. How could I not?" Sally asks why he chose her over the baby. "How could you? Adam couldn't lose her." Sally says, "You already did, Adam." She exclaims that she and the baby were everything to each other. Adam stresses, "This was the hardest decision of my life." Sally rails. Could he just not see a future where someone needed him to step up, possibly on his own, and be the man that nobody thinks he can be? "You destroyed a life, and mine," she cries. Adam says that's not fair. Sally shouts, "Fair? You want fair?" She screams that he can't give her what was taken away with all of his power and connections. He says, "It was taken from us, Sally." Sally seethes, "Exactly. She had no one but us. She had no one to fight for her but us, and I couldn't do it. But you could. You forced me to let her down. I promised I wasn't going to let her down or leave her to fight for herself the way that my parents did to me, and that's exactly what she had to do." Overcome, Sally screams, "Oh my God, somebody has to stop this from hurting so much. I want her, Adam, but you let her die. You're the reason she's dead." Sally continues, "If you love me at all, then you should have known and saved her." Adam couldn't let Sally go. Sally argues, "You should have fought for her. Who are you?" Adam is the man who is there for her. Sally doesn't want to be here without her. "I just want my baby." Adam says, "Don't do this to yourself." Sally replies, "This was done to me by you, Adam." She sobs that he got her pregnant, made her love the baby, and now she's gone. "I was just happier than I'd ever been." She was going to give her the life that she never had, and if she couldn't, she trusted that Adam would, and now there's nothing. Adam says, "You could have died." Sally asks, "You loved her, didn't you? You would have taken care of her and given her a family. A world beyond her wildest dreams." Adam says it wouldn't have been much of a world without Sally. There's nothing he wouldn't have done for her, or for Sally. Sally says, "You would have done anything for her, except let me go." She orders Adam out of her room. "I do not want you, I want her, I want our baby." Elena comes in as Sally sobs. Adam says, "I'm sorry, Sally, I'm trying to explain to you." He walks out as Elena tries to soothe Sally. Drone video shows extent of Italian drought, revealing its longest river is almost dried up. At Sharon's place, Faith comes downstairs and her mom jumps. Faith missed her mom and was kind of freaked out being upstairs alone. It's like nothing will ever be normal again. Faith spots Cameron's bag and asks her mother to put it outside until the cops come and pick it up. Sharon agrees, she'll put it on the porch. Nick arrives at the hospital, and Adam tells him Sally is with Elena. He wanted to tell them this face to face and explains how Sally was tired of being cooped up, was worried about him, and was threatening to leave if he didn't take her for something to eat. Nick complains, "You were supposed to keep her blood pressure down." Adam knows that. He says they were having a good time, they were relaxed, and he was trying to keep her mind off of what was going on with him and Sharon. Her headache wouldn't go away, so he brought her into the hospital. "We called you about 100 times. Nick says he couldn't answer. Adam asks, "What was more important than being with Sally?" Nick replies that things were getting out of control for them. It was life and death. Adam nods, "For us too." Nick asks, "What are you talking about?" Adam says that everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. The baby, she didn't make it. Our little girl is gone. At Sharon's place, she tells Faith she has her answer as to how far she would go to keep her face. She was terrified. Faith says she wasn't, well, maybe a little bit, but she knew they would find her. They snuggle on the couch and Sharon states, "Cameron won't be coming back ever again. There is no question, he was very dead." Faith muses, "Thanks to you." In the hospital, Nick tells Adam, "I don't know what to say." Elena joins them and says Sally's been asking for him. Nick says he won't keep her long. He enters Sally's room and kisses her head. I'm so sorry. I should have been here. Sally gasps. It should have been me. Adam had a choice. To choose between me and the baby, and she chose me. Nick says it was the right choice. I think he chose right, don't you? Sally's already had her life, but the baby had her whole life ahead of her. She was going to be feisty and spirited. You would have loved her. I would have made a different choice. Nick tells Sally she'll get through this. Sally worries she failed a test. I failed her. She needed me. I need her. Nick grimaces. He tells Sally they don't want him to be in there too long. She has to get some rest. He perches on the bed and holds Sally, who sobs, "Just let me go." Adam watches through the door. Outside the room, Adam paces and Elena tells him it's important to remember that Sally's not the only person who lost a baby tonight. Be kind to yourself, okay? She hands him a bag and says, "A memento." Nick joins them and Elena urges the men to go home. Sally's exhausted and they've both been through a lot. Adam tells Nick, "You look like hell." Nick replies, "You should see the other guy." Nick tells Adam he could use a drink. Adam has something to do first and will meet him at society. He looks into the bag Elena gave him. Elena enters Sally's room with a pink box and sets it down. She asks if she wants to talk about her loss. She could also just sit there if she doesn't want to be alone. Sally wants to sleep. Elena says the nurse will be in with her sleep aid soon. She tells Sally if she changes her mind about seeing the baby, she should press the button on her bed and tell them what she wants. Handing her the pink box, she says it's a gift from the nurses. Elena wishes her good night and walks out. Adam arrives at society to meet Nick and places the white bag from Elena on the floor beside him. He thanks Nick for the drink and takes a swig. He supposes Nick wants to hear the rest of the story. Nick guesses they put her on medication and it wasn't working. Adam says they warned them there was a risk, but he never thought it would happen. He recalls Elena asking him to choose between the baby and Sally. I chose Sally. Nick's sorry he had to make that choice alone, but he's glad he was there. Thank you. Adam didn't do it for Nick's gratitude. She blames me for everything. I don't know, maybe you would have made a different decision. Nick says it was never his place to make decisions for Sally and the baby. That was all you. He knows it's not going to help right now, but you did the right thing, Adam. Adam worries Sally will never forgive him. Adam groans about the world changing in the blink of an eye. Nick guesses he'll never be able to convince him it's not his fault. Adam says it doesn't matter, he's just worried about Sally. He was looking forward to getting to know his little girl, but now she's gone and they're just supposed to go on. How do we do that? Nick doesn't know, but they just do. Adam thinks Nick should go be with Sharon and Faith, who need him more than he does. Nick nods, all right. They stand up and Adam holds out his hand to shake Nick's. His brother instead pulls him into an embrace. Adam tears up. In the hospital, Sally opens the pink box to find pink knit booties and a card with the baby's footprints and her name, Ava Hope Spectra, on it. Sally sobs, "You were the light of our lives. They said that I can hold you. I just have to press a button, but I'm so worried you're going to be disappointed in me." She cries, "I loved you your whole life. I know it wasn't very long, but there was a joy and a lightness that I never had." Sally sobs about having someone to love and to love her. "You were more than I deserved." Faith is dozing with her head on Sharon's lap when Nick returns. Faith sits up as Sharon asks how Sally and the baby are doing. Nick tells them there was a procedure and the baby didn't make it. Faith gets up and hugs her dad. Sharon asks about Adam. Nick says he's struggling and has no one. God only knows how he'll deal with it. In society, Adam opens the pink box that was in his white bag and takes out the pink booties. Victor arrives and watches him. Eventually, he sits down and tells his son, "I'm sorry for your loss." He asks about Sally. Adam says she hates him but she's okay. He thought this was a chance for him to do things right. "There's something in me. I did this to her. There's something corrupt in me. There has to be. There's something in my genetic makeup that just ruins things." Victor asks, "What's her name?" Adam says, "It's Ava." Victor wishes he'd known her. Adam wishes he had too. Victor tells his son that what he should do at a time like this is turn to people who love him. Adam asks who that would be. "I have to get through this alone." Victor replies, "No, son, you don't." At Sharon's place, she tells Nick he's welcome to the guest room. Nick should get home to Christian but will hang out a bit longer. Sharon says it's sad what happened to Sally. Nick nods, real sad. He's worried about Sharon, who is always looking out for others. He knows what it's like to kill a man, and although she did the right thing, it will haunt her until she faces it and stares it down. At society, Victor tells Adam he has people in his life who have experienced big losses. He will always be there for him. He'll also be there for Sally and Connor. All Adam has to do is ask. Adam says Sally wants nothing to do with him. He appreciates Victor trying, but nothing matters anymore. He takes the white bag and walks out. At Sharon's place, Nick urges her to talk about what happened. If she tries to stuff the feelings down, it will come back and screw her life up in other ways. He recalls she gave him that advice after he killed the man who was after his sister. Sharon fumes that that animal had her daughter strapped with enough explosives to level the building, and she promised her she would do whatever it takes to keep her safe. And that is what I did. I killed the man who was trying to hurt my child. If it ever happened again, I wouldn't change a thing. She feels alive and activated, as though she's been asleep since Ray died, just pouring coffee and listening to people's problems. Now I'm awake. In her hospital bed, Sally talks to her baby. "Your life was brief, but you changed me. Because of you, I smiled at the silliest things. I'd just stop in the middle of the day and smile because I was going to be someone's mom. I was going to be your mom. I'm so sorry that we don't get the life I promised you, but I promise that I will always love you and I will always be your mom. I will never forget you." She sobs and cries. "Oh God, I know I have to say goodbye." She decides she'll do it while she holds her. Sally packs up the pink box and pushes the call button beside her bed. She tells the person who answers, "I would like to see my baby now, if that's okay."